Hey, YouTube, welcome to the Comic Book Community 411. And my special guest is no other than the Comic Journey. CJ, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on after making me wait for what, half an hour to get on here?
I
You
was
set a
late.
time, you set up a time, you're not punctual, and then you tell me, I'm sorry, I'm running late. Yeah, I'll be on in 15 minutes. And then we waited another 15 minutes on top of that. So I guess you're running on Greek time. This is what we call Greek time. Basically, everybody's running by the beat of their own drum and that kind of a thing. But you have me on. I'm here. Yeah, you're welcome. By the way, you're welcome for having me agree to be on your show. You have a wait. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let there be light. So, see, I'm getting technologically advanced here. Um, you have the honor. You have the honor of being. I believe you have the honor of being the first YouTuber here to interview me. I've been on other people's streams. I've been on your streams, but I've never been quite in a sit down situation where people ask me questions and I answer them. Questions, answer them, that kind of a thing. And I said to myself, if I'm going to do any kind of interview kind of format or whatever the case is, and I've agreed to go on a few people, I said to myself, I'm either going to do Brian or Gary B's show first. First. So you got me first. I'm gonna save some in reserve for when I go on Gary B because I gotta have to. I'm gonna have to give him a little something
I
that I'm
understand.
not giving you. But you got me. You got me.
So I have the exclusive, but not the full exclusive.
No picnic shirt. Okay, just making that clear. Making that clear. There's no picnic shirts here. So all you people watching, all you little trolls out there, with your picnic shirt comments, no picnic shirt.
Well, I apologize for being late. I don't, I'm usually not late, and I don't like when others are late, so I apologize.
I could tell
Um,
by the tone in your voice you're being very sarcastic, but I'll take your apology. I'll take your apology. I
No,
appreciate it.
no, I really, punctuality is something that's important to me. I like to be on time. If I commit to something at a certain time, I want to be there. But um, so I apologize.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't do it to your other guests. Like, you have your Garys and you're this and that. You do it to me. You do it to me just to get my temperature up. That's basically why you do it. I know what you're doing. And I got your number.
I'm not that calculated, but I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, so everybody put their seatbelt on. Here comes the questions.
All right, we got questions. So bring them on. Bring them on. What are
Well,
your
why
questions?
don't you just start with tell us how did you get into comic book collecting? I mean, I've seen
What?
you on a number of live streams. We've chatted, we've been on live streams, but I don't know. I don't know the comic journey origin story. How did you get into collecting?
Oh, okay. You want to know how I got collecting or how I got into live streams? Which one is it?
No, I think collecting. Right? When did you first? When did you first get involved with comic books?
Okay, so let me tell you the something before I get started with that. Before I get started, that I have to just add a couple things to the mix. It's very hot in here, so if you see me sweating profusely, it's not because you're getting me nervous. It's because I'm freaking hot. I didn't have the air conditioner on before I came in. It's only been a little while since I got back home. I turned it on, and it's not doing the job fast enough. It's not doing the job fast enough. But that's one thing. The other thing is, how do you like the fact that I'm the new, calmer, more low pace comic journey. I'm not getting agitated. I don't let anything bother me anymore. I'm just nice and calm. How do you like that? Is
Yeah,
that
no,
a
that's
better name?
fine.
All
You're
right,
you're you're entertaining whether you're on a rant or just chatting. You're
no
just
more
you're just
rants. No more
okay.
rants.
Okay.
No more rants. No more rant policy. I basically going to be out there, putting really good information out there, helping the community in the best way possible, and basically, hammering down all injustice done in the comic community. So
Right.
I'm here. You could consider me a little bit of the protector of the community, of all the people that get beaten and butt hurt. You remember the whole butt hurt incident, the whole butt
Yes.
hurt incident, and I'm going to get on you. By the end of this, by the end of this 411 community comic book thing, podcast stream, I don't know what the hell you want to call it. By the end of it, you're going to hear a little bit, just a little bit of what I have on my mind regarding your latest little spectacle we call the Comic Community Awards,
Okay.
Comic Book Community Awards. Because we can't get we have to keep it wordy. We can't make it like catchy. We have to keep it the Comic Book Community Awards. It can't be like the Comic Book Awards. They can't be. No, it has to be. See. Oh, anyway, we'll get into that. We'll get into that by the end of the show, and because I really want to give you a piece of my mind on that, and we'll get into that. Am I taking over your show? Am I kind of dictating a little bit of where it's going?
No,
I
it's
don't mean to.
okay.
I
I
don't
like
mean to.
that.
I don't mean to take. I don't mean to take over. I really don't mean to take over. But I just I like the order. I like to put everything in the place where it needs to be. So I'll answer your questions. The question was, how did I get into collecting comic books? How did comic journey, a young little baby comic journey with a not so blue face, actually become a comic book enthusiast, hobbyist, collector, etc. Well, well, you know, I'll start off with this. I was a young kid. I had a very vivid imagination, very, very vivid imagination. Um, didn't necessarily. Well, I had a lot of friends. I can't say I didn't have a lot of friends. I did have a lot of friends, but at the same time, the way my family was structured, they ran a business. They ran a bakery down in Queens, and I didn't have a lot of playtime, play dates. Now it's 2022. What do we do with our kids? We make play dates for them to get together. No, that didn't apply then. I don't know if that was a thing back then, but it was definitely not a thing by then. But for me back then, so my parents would take me whenever I wasn't in school. Whenever I was in school, they would take me with them to sit at the bakery and basically watch them work. And then they gradually put me to work a little bit at a time. So there was a lot of downtime, a lot of boring time. So we had a little newsstand right by us where the shop was. We had a couple of little places where they sold comics, and I started to go in there and say, "Ma, ma, ma, I want to buy a comic book. I want to buy a comic book." By the way, one of my best memories as a kid was sitting and watching the Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno with my mom, and she says, I don't believe this. I don't believe this. But she has some kind of recollection, some kind of memory that I basically would jump up on the table and rip my shirt and pretend I was the Hulk. I don't know. I don't know if that was the case. Maybe it was. I was a pretty fatso guy. I was pretty heavy dude. Not that I'm a lightweight right now, but I was, So that must have been a spectacle of young comic journey, ripping his shirt at 5, 6 years old, watching Lou Ferrigno, and telling people you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. So that was a part of the thing. So my first comics that I would pick up were these little oddball kind of comics, whatever I could find. Believe it or not, I think Conan, Savage Sword of Conan, might have been one of my first actual comic books that I picked up because it was bigger than the other ones. It was bigger than the other ones, and I felt I was going to read more out of it. They were more expensive, and but my mom would a buck or two she would spend and give me a couple comics and that kind of thing. But the first comic that really I scattered buying books here or there. Hulk was by far my favorite,
Okay.
and I think Hulk still is my favorite, even though they've done some really bizarro things with him
Yeah.
since its origins. Um, so I got a lot of those, and I was actually really collecting towards the late 200s, going to the 300s. That's the time period that I was really, really getting into it. But the one book that is most cherished by me, and actually gave me the most vivid memories, and got me into collecting even more was Hulk and Wolverine Special Edition #1. Now, what this book did, it had a glorious John Byrne cover, wrap around, reach around, anyway, that kind of thing. You know, probably one of my favorite covers ever. I don't know if it's the nostalgia sticky. I don't know if it's truly one of the most beautiful covers, but it's one of my favorite whole covers ever created. And the story in there was a collection of Hulk 180, Hulk 181, and a little bit of Hulk 182, the beginning scene where he went away. Plus, plus there was a bonus. What a lot of people don't know, speculation alert. All you crazy spec guys. There's a bonus story at the end of that book that no you can't find anywhere else, written by Chris Claremont. So that really pulled me in. I didn't even know there was a Hulk 180 and a Hulk 181, to be quite honest with you. As I got a little older and I started reading it a little bit better, I understood that it was a reprint.
Oh,
But
okay.
for me, that was the first appearance of Wolverine. That was the original. That how I got introduced to it. So I got that actually introduced me into actually buying X-Men books.
Okay.
And I'm so happy that I started buying X-Men books during that time, because the X-Men books were right at the peak of the Chris Claremont stuff. We just had gotten out of the whole Dark Phoenix and all that stuff saga. I was actually reading vividly issues of when the Marauders were taking over to X-Men 210 to 213. That was probably still one of my favorite books. Squadron Supreme. You're going to say something's wrong with this guy. Why does he like Squadron Supreme? That maxi series, 1 through 12, to this day is one of my favorite books ever. One of my favorite storylines ever. Why? I don't know. I got introduced to that well before I ever realized what Watchmen were. And I see a lot of parallels actually from Watchmen to this as well. But if you ever read the story,
Okay.
but it is a great maxi series, really cheap to find, the whole collection, and such a great read. But yeah, does that kind of answer your question, how I got into
Yeah.
comic
Yeah.
collecting? Is that thorough enough for you? Is
Yes.
that am I missing anything? Did I try to avoid anything difficult about it?
No, I
I
think
told
you answered it well.
I talked about the stuff I loved, the books that I love, the one specific book that I cherish the most. I talk about my fatness. I talk about my I talked about all that stuff. So I think we got it covered.
Okay.
So I'm sure anybody listening after this video goes boom on YouTube and that kind of thing, they'll be able to basically tell me if I was thorough enough. If I'm
No,
thorough enough.
like I said, I didn't recall. I've seen you on a ton of live streams, your own live streams, other people's channels, and I'm not sure if you ever really discussed how you first started collecting. So that's
Well, Well, you know what? I throw bits and pieces. If you ever catch some of those old live streams that I did, and some of those live streams, they went on and on and on, and you can miss a lot. That's the one thing I will say. If you're one of these like bizarre and insane people that actually like stuff I have to say and that kind of thing, you should kind of leave these streams playing in the background and listen to the stuff as it's going on, because all it takes is one thing to trigger me or any guest that's on at the same time, because I get a lot of guests that come on. Why? Don't ask me why people jump on, but they jump on and we really go into like all different directions. So you really don't know the title. A lot of times on these streams might say something, and we go into all kinds of different stuff. So I've touched on stuff like this in the past. I never gave a thorough and kind of you know more concentrated type of origin.
okay.
So
No, it was
there you
good.
go. You got the
It was good.
origin story. Until
I
somebody
like it.
rewrites it, and then we get a revamp for it could be 2023 next. Every year we have to change our origin stories to keep up with the times.
Oh, I that was a good answer. So, how did you make the leap to starting a YouTube channel? And I know you've done, you do some other stuff on YouTube for, some of your, profession and things like that. But how did you make the leap to say, okay, now I'm going to make a comic book channel on YouTube and start sharing, comic book information on video?
Okay. So I started. I would sporadically watch YouTube here and there for years. Would love to watch stuff like Comics Explained, Comistorian, good- things like that. Every so often, I'd run across something that was really interesting about the hobby, how to press a book and stuff like that. But I saw a really big boom in the past 3 years of new content, new creators coming out there and actually putting out a lot of information that was kind of sometimes goofy, sometimes useful, but it was all loosey goosey and free. Now, my profession, my job, for the people that don't really know who I am and that kind of thing, and I don't really put it out there because it's just life. It complicates things in life. So I'd rather keep that separate as far as the mass public is concerned, as far as my other channel and what I do for like and my true identity, because this is superhero community, this is comic community, so
Secret identity.
we have to have our our aliases, our cute and our true identity. So I'm holding my true identity close to me until my arch nemesis reveals it. But until up until that point, I'm in real estate, so it is a very very intense business at times. It is, there's stress, there's a lot of time that's put into it and that kind of thing. And I felt like the comic community kind of gave me a release of where um, I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to look to make money off of anything. I don't have to make a living out of it. I could just be myself, say what I want to say. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, too bad. You could change the channel. You could do whatever. Oh, look at this. Look at I'm showing my age right now. Change the channel. Who does? Who does? By the way, hey, you want to go back into the little journey archives in my memories? You know what? My first remote control ever was in my house. Me.
You get
Yeah, my dad would say, "Oh, put it on channel 5. Put it on channel 11."
yes.
People probably don't get that. These days, people don't get that, but people are at least in the 40s and over
Yep.
will
I,
get that, and
I
they'll
changed the
probably
channel for dad. Yep.
yeah either appreciate it or not appreciate it all in the same way. But yeah, so it gives me a release. It gave me a place, a platform where I could just go on there and just do stuff. So I started off doing some stuff on YouTube or some stuff on Instagram, where I would just, doodle things and just say whatever's on my mind. Something weird would happen in like some kind of comic or whatever the case is, and I'll do my commentary on it. I would get a little bit more active in the community by commenting on people, and people actually paid attention to what I had to say, which was blew my mind. Just blew my mind that I write a comment and they were either not, well, some people got offended, not completely offended, and actually responded in a very constructive way. So that actually gave me more fuel and actually made me want to um, engage more and do
Okay.
more. And I will say during the time, because I've been away for about, I want to say 5, 6 months, something like that. It's been a while. It's been a minute. That's what the young kids say. It's been a minute. So it's been a while, and I saw a lot of really positive stuff coming in DMs to me. That's the other thing, direct message. For all the people that don't know what that means, direct message on Instagram and that kind of stuff. I know the people that knew my number and texted me and stuff like that, and really, really um, reached out to me in a way where made me feel a part of something that was a little different. You know, you have your family, you have your I guess, friends that you grew up with and your, atmosphere, so to say. And this just allowed me to expand my universe and add more people, good people, some people that I don't want to deal with, and I don't talk to those people, but expanded my universe to more people, more ideas, more brainstorming. By the way, if Jerry the Jitterbug is listening, love you, man. He helped me out a lot. Very, very useful advice from him. Really, really, really solid guy. This guy doesn't know only how to mangle comics. He actually knows how to uh, deal with stuff in law. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, oh
Uh,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I,
No, I've
I,
talked to Jerry directly myself. We've had some conversations over the phone, and very helpful, insightful guy. So yeah, no, you know,
and
I've
I
had
don't
that
even have to
person.
tell you what path I went with that legal advice that he gave me, but he helped me out a lot. Let's just say that
That's good.
he
That's
opened
good.
up my eyes to a lot of things. So big shout out to him, and really good guy. But there's a lot of people out there. Uh, but does that answer your question?
Yeah, no,
Was that a complete thought? Was it too all over the place, or was it,
no,
all right?
no.
I'm just
No,
making sure
don't worry.
where I'm going.
There's
I'm
no.
I'm letting you conduct this interview. You guide me. You guide me. Don't
No,
don't let me go all
no,
a
but
different
no,
direction.
I'm not grading you. I'm not going to give you a grade at the end of the interview.
Well, you
You're
should.
doing fine. You're doing
You
fine.
should grade people. And
All
that's
right.
one of my pet peeves. One of my pet peeves is that people don't take any accountability for their look at me's. Yes, I'm going to bring up the hashtag look at me movement. Yes, it is a real thing and it is a movement. And if you do really, really crappy content, you should be called out on it. I'm sorry. I am sorry. If you do spectacular type of content, then you should receive accolades. And if you do meh, that kind of content, then you shouldn't hear anything. So that's kind of how I feel. And for considering you're humble and you don't say much and stuff like that, considering you have an award ceremony, basically awarding people and recognizing people for being special, there should be an award ceremony and some kind of award thing for the people that are not so special. And and I am going to be conducting one like that. So you heard it here first, by the way.
So
You inspired me.
a
And
Razzies for the comic book
no, no, no.
community.
This is going to be the Iconic Journey Awards. I'll come up with a really funny, funky, prestigious name, and this will be a set of awards that will not be voted on. They will not be up to the public to decide. They will not be up for debate. These will be awards that I personally handpick, and
Wow.
actually put out there for the community, and you will hear, and they will receive some kind of thing. I don't know what kind of thing it will be. Maybe it'll be a big bowl of steam or a hot cup of nothing. I don't know what it'll be, but it will be a thing that they will get from here, and they will get the acknowledgement of receiving this award. Now, I will make it really, really public, and I will put it on a stream, and everybody will watch it, and everybody will be in amazement and say, "Wow, wow! I give Journey such respect for actually saying things that we want to say, but nobody wants to say it because nobody wants to sound like they're mean and cruel and not anything like that. And I don't intend to be cruel and mean. I tend to be honest. That's it. And there'll be some good awards that go out there. There are going to be some good awards that go out there. By the way, there is no reason whatsoever that hands. You see these lovely hands? You see these
I
lovely
do.
hands?
I see
I have
them.
two of them. These were gifts to my arms from God. And they're wonderful. There is no reason whatsoever why you should have actually lumped my hands in with people's mustaches and hair and all kinds of other bodily components. There was
Well,
no reason why. My hands should have been in a class of their own. I should have been put in it to the Hall of Hand Fame. And I don't know. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. This is gonna be
Well,
another year that I'm gonna be overlooked because I got to compete with people's lovely, luscious beards and mustaches. And how am I going to compete with like a big fluffy mustache? How am I going to do that? And I think that was done by design. I don't know if it was
no.
only you, but it might have been that council. That council, that Illuminati that you have behind you. It must have been something going on with that. I don't know who your council is this year. I was part of it last year. I was
You
part of it
were.
last year,
You
and I
were.
was an insider. And I was away, so I can't have I can't have any gripe with you for shunning me and kicking me out. But I do have a gripe on this hand situation. You did it wrong, and it needs to be corrected. That's
We'll
all I'm
ta-
gonna say.
okay. We'll take that under consideration for next year. But I'll give you a brief explanation why we decided to lump them together, because we doubled the amount of categories this year. So to break out each of the individual areas, hands as one category and facial hair and hair would have added more categories to the awards, and just wasn't ready to do that. So we doubled. We went from 12 to 24. No, I'm sorry, 11 to 22. So we didn't want to go beyond that. So maybe next year we'll certainly take that into consideration.
You're such a damn politician. Maybe next year. Maybe next
Well,
year. Maybe next year. First of
as
all, you should have separated that thing into three categories: hands, mustaches, and hair. Okay, let's do that. So
okay,
that should be in three categories in itself. Now, besides that, those categories that should have been included and separated and really polished out there. What about most charismatic voice? Why don't we have a word for that? Who has the most charismatic voice? I'm not saying that I do, but I have a really damn good, charming voice. But beyond that, I know I'd be a
yes,
contender, but this is not on me. It's not. I do not need recognition from the public to be able to give me. I'm more than comfortable within my own skin to give myself accolades. I'm really good at that. But what I'm saying is, how about a charismatic voice? One of these people that they talk and they basically they make you get a hard on because of their voice, or they make you they charm your pants off, or one of these sexy sultry voices from one of our community members that are women. Why
all
don't
right.
those work?
I got my pen out. I'm writing it down. That's gonna go in the idea list for next year. See, but
Correct.
this is why you're needed in the community. You were gone, and no fault of your own. There was personal things going on. I get it, but you could have helped us. You could have been part of the Illuminati or the committee, or and helped us with these great ideas.
Yeah, hopefully you guys don't do what the Illuminati did to Captain America and erase my memories and kick me out. But yeah, that's for all you comic nerds. Whoever doesn't know that story, you better read it. I'm not telling you where it happened, but it did happen. But yeah, yeah. Captain America at one point was part of the Illuminati. Believe it or not, red, white, and blue. He was part of it. But that's for another day, another story. A best storyteller, shouldn't that be a category? Shouldn't that be a category?
I think that's a good idea. Good suggestion.
How many great channels? Like I'm a big advocate. On the Lifetime Achievement Award. People are voting a lot of different things. Listen. The truth be said, this is a damn popularity contest. It's whoever votes the most over the certain people, they're gonna get it. Some people they truly do deserve it. Some people they just more damn popular. It's like freaking high school. You got to vote for prom queen and prom king. Is that still a thing, or has that been canceled? I don't know. I'm a little out of the loop. My
No,
kids are
I
a
think
couple
it's
of
still a
years
thing.
away. Huh?
I think
That's
it's
still
still a
going?
thing.
It
I think
hasn't been
so.
canceled? Yeah. You know,
I haven't heard,
so
but yeah, I believe it's still going.
have they done uh, prom king, prom queen, and prom other? Or is that not yet part of the
Yeah,
mix?
that I don't know. All of my kids are done with high school now, so I don't really know.
I'll find out in a couple of years. My oldest is getting there, so I'll find out in a
All right.
couple of years, and I'll let you know. I'll inform everybody.
Okay.
I'll let you know what
All
the
right.
story is. But that
All right.
being said, you know,
Sure.
a storyteller. My favorite, not biased. Um, Comic Explained. He is a great storyteller.
Yes.
He deserves to be in the category or in at least the talks of a lifetime achievement award. Yes, the guy has 2 million freaking subscribers. Good for him. He shouldn't be penalized for that. I've heard a lot of other people that have made their votes publicly. By the way, I'm going to be doing my nominations. If
Okay.
the, my I don't know if my nominations will actually come on prior to you loading this video or after, but at one point I am going to be doing the nomination and explain to everybody why. I already went through your whole little website thing and whatever, and thank you for putting that together. It's a wonderful platform where we could see everything. Um, I already went through that. I just doing a little bit more research on a few of the members because I've had so much time that I lost, and I'm still playing catch up. I want to make sure that my votes are legitimate. But I think for the Lifetime Achiever Award, of actual uh, channels like Comic Historian and Comic Explained and those type of channels that are massive. They're massive,
Oh
and they
yeah.
have a
Yeah.
great following. They should at least be in the contention. I remember last year. Oh, here's a secret. I'm going to give you a Illuminati secret. I remember there was literally one vote for Comic Explained. I remember that like yesterday. And guess what? How he got that one vote?
Was that you?
That's this guy. That's this guy. So I was mortified. I was mortified. And by the way, yeah, if Jerry gets screwed again this year, there's going to be hell to pay for. So
Well,
yeah,
and,
everybody
and
listen. Yeah, better be listening.
we made a little bit of a tweak with that category, right, to make sure that the nominations of channels in the pressing and cleaning are channels that um, produce content related to that, right? So last year we fell into some channels that were pressing and cleaning for members of the community, and that's how they got votes. So we've changed that to make sure that channels that are nominated and become the finalist are channels that actually demonstrate techniques on pressing and cleaning. So hopefully that will level that playing field for that category.
Well, let's see if people actually are you gonna be the gatekeeper to that?
Yes, yeah,
Good.
we're gonna review the nominations and make sure that the channels that are nominated fit the criteria of the category.
Very good. So, yes, I use the word gatekeeper, people. Gatekeeper. Yes, it's a bad word. I don't care. We need gatekeepers in some places.
Well,
You
and
need,
that's part of what the committee's going to do. They're going to help me with that as well. Review it so that I'm not the only one looking at it. We have community members, a committee of community members that are looking at it to keep everything honest and on the up and up.
well, I'm glad that you're on top of it. So, on to the next topic. How about the weirdest content? Why has that it does not get a certain type of award? There's a lot of weirdos out there. There's a lot of freaking weirdos that those I don't even understand half the stuff they put out there. I don't even understand some of the stuff they show, but they're weird and they're entertaining for some reason. They got that charisma that pulls you right in, and you can't. It's like watching a train running into like a train wreck. It's like watching a train wreck and being like, this is terrible, but I can't stop watching. We need an award for that.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe it's the train wreck award.
Well, you can call it whatever you want, but there should be an award for that.
All right, I got the pen out again. I'm writing that down. That's another suggestion for.
On to the next topic. How about the best doodler award? Huh? How about that? Why don't we have any award for the best doodler?
We
There's so
we
many
did
of them that say they doodle. They do some amazing things. Not that I do that sometimes too, but I'm terrible. But you have other people that they're like really really talented. You see that kid,
hidden
Jem.
gem.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does the whole thing and he
Oh yeah,
plays the
yeah. He's
music and
amazing. He does
he
some
does
amazing
all that
work.
stuff. This kid is talented. He's a little this little prick can draw things like you never seen before. He's got talent. He's not even trained. and he's stuff
Yeah,
like
he's
that
very good.
should get its attention, the proper attention it deserves. You know, yeah, these are the thoughts that I have, and I'm
Okay.
sure that I'm voicing these out. You know why? Because nobody has the nerve to tell you about them because they don't want to get shunned from the
No,
community.
I am open to feedback, suggestions. I want to hear from the community, right? That's the idea. It's the community awards. It should be what the community wants. And so feedback, feedback is welcomed. So I appreciate you giving me,
Oh,
these
I
ideas.
could give you a lot more. Believe me, I could give you a lot more, but I'm not going to dominate this thing. You're supposed
Okay.
to be
All right.
interviewing
Yeah.
me.
No, we
Yeah, yeah.
can.
I'm telling you things because they need to be heard, and I will make a video just telling you everything that needs to be done, and you have to listen,
Okay.
and that's it. That's
I
how it works.
appreciate that.
You know.
I like that the fact that some people are doing nomination videos because it just again I believe it will help spread the word, um, for the nominations and get others to vote. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
And great idea, by the way. Great idea, by the way, of making a T-shirt for the community. I'll be purchasing one soon, and
Thank
I'll
you.
be I'll be
Appreciate
wearing it the day of the show, the day of the awards. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But it depends on what kind of mood I am and who's nominated, and I don't know. We'll see. But I will get one to support it. And if you like, I can actually draw you up a logo of my blue face, my turquoise face, and I could give you the image. And if you want to use that as another Teespring thing to
it.
raise some
Sure,
money, you
we
could
can do
go
that.
ahead. You could go ahead and do that. But I have to redo my logo. I don't know what the hell happened to my original design that I did. I did it all. You know how I did my logo? Yeah, here's a story. You want to hear a story about my origin?
Sure.
All right. So you see that stupid blue face I have on my logo?
Yes.
Well, here's what I did. I drew it up with a pen really quickly one day, just for the hell of it. Like I had kiss on my mind. The whole like smiling thing. The kiss face. So I'm like, let's make a weird blue face with like almost like a kiss mouth or whatever the case is. And then I drew it with pen. And I'm like, oh my god, this looks terrible. It's all like rough and everything. So then I took a Sharpie and I outlined it. I got all the colors. And then I'm like, oh, this looks boring. So then I took a red pen, and I did a red pen, and I did the tongue, and then I'm like, what color can we make this? So then I found a blue highlighter. Those blue highlighters, just like the ones you
Oh
highlight.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I colored it, and that's my logo. That's how I did my logo.
Wow.
So now I need to do one that's a little, and I did it like basically on a snot rag, and I took a picture of it and it loaded it up really quick. So now I have to actually do a nice clean one that's high resolution and actually
Okay.
put it out there. So I'll do that over the next few days. I could do that relatively quickly. Just have to get to it. So there you
Okay.
go. There's your insider tip on my
I like it.
logo
I'd
logo design.
love to
Why?
have the blue face on a t-shirt.
And the reason I made that logo is because I didn't want to feel left out. Everybody had their own freaking logos. Even you have a freaking logo. You look like a little Hitler on your logo with that little mustache. I don't know, but yeah, I'm
I
like,
have a new
this
one.
guy
Look.
has a logo. This guy has a logo. This guy has a logo. Everybody's got a logo, and I'm like, I have to have a logo. So that was my logo.
Okay. So my next question before you get
Oh,
off on a tangent.
you got more questions. So let's
I
hear it.
have, yeah, I do.
All right, let's
What
hear it.
is now? And now this, I expect you to have a good answer for this one. What's one thing that you don't like about the comic book community on YouTube,
Okay, which is one?
or
Just one?
many?
Just one? I mean, like, it's really hard to listen. I don't want to be a negative guy. I'm not. I'm not. I don't. I know people might have that impression of me just because I say the truth and stuff like that. Just because I'm honest about things, people tend to look at that as a form of negativity. It's not. It really is not. Um, but one thing that really irks me beyond belief is um, really horrible look at me's. Really horrible look at me's. And when I tell you really horrible look at me's, I know you've seen them before. You need to see them before. I got a stack of comics here. I'll demonstrate for you. Okay, I'll demonstrate for you. All right. You can see some of the new comics I got recently. Okay, so so I'm sitting here. Hello, YouTube. It's new comic book day. Let's see what I got today. Oh, maybe they'll throw in a Happy Wednesday. Oh, okay. So I went to the comic shop and I picked up. See, you'll be lucky if they even tell you what they picked up. Some of these freaking look at me's. They don't even tell you what they're showing you. So they'll do this. Uh, and sometimes they'll leave it there for a little bit so you can at least absorb what you're looking at. But sometimes they'll just and then they go to the next one. And then
I think you've been watching my videos.
You at least say something. You at least say something. Honestly, you at least say something on your videos. And you know what? Your strongest point might not be your look at me's, but you add some production value to it. You put some thought into it. You have a nice little display that you have on the back that you're actually, mindfully. I take that all into consideration. Not
Okay.
everybody has the same type of energy. You, and Slim Comics, Sean. You know Sean, right?
Sean, oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. You have a very similar approach to each other when it comes to your look and me's. You're very dry pen,
It's
and
true.
it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get a freaking reaction out of you, especially if you have somebody on like like if I really try, I'll get a reaction out of you. Because I could think of things that will get under your skin or give you a moment to say, cringe or something like that. Something that'll do it. But you have this deadpan approach, which works. It works for you, but you also don't leave it at that. You sit and you do your weird woman intro that you have on there with Freaky Lou singing. I don't understand. I really don't understand why you got hot chicks dancing in front of you. But hey, it could be worse. You could have other things dancing in front of it. I have no problem with hot women dancing and to Brian LCS music. No problem with that. I don't get. You're gonna have to tell me what the origin and what the thought pattern of that is in itself. They're not even holding comics. So why are they dancing? Why are they
I don't know. I just it was
like?
something I put together, and
I
it's
like.
it's the most watched part of any of my show is the dancing women.
Well, yeah, because you got hot women dancing in front of you to OPP music. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if there was a background with a comic book background, or if there was like a little like action figure dancing with them, I don't
Yeah.
know.
All
I
right,
don't know.
I'm taking notes. You giving me
No,
more
no,
ideas?
don't change a thing. It's just freaking weird. It's hot, but it's weird. So you do things. You add elements to your thing. You're constantly improving your content. So that's why I don't give you a hell on your look and me's because it's all part of a collective. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah. No, that's
That
fair.
I take all that into consideration. But you have other people that is the basis of their freaking channel. They are doing look at me's, and it's I swear I wish you could rip my eyes out so I have to watch it and puncture my eardrums because it's so damn terrible. It's better it's worse actually than watching paint dry. Do you ever sit down and then paint the wall and like, oh, let's watch it dry. Let's see how long this takes. And you just sit there and sit there and sit there. And maybe you have a cup of coffee with you. Maybe you don't have a cup of coffee, but it is the worst thing ever. And I feel a lot of that. So that is definitely a big pet peeve of mine. If there's no thought into it whatsoever. The other thing that irks me a lot, and just as much irks me, is bullshit artists. Are we allowed to say that on your channel?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So
We're
I don't like.
adults. We can say that.
I really don't like bullshit artists. So I don't like people that sit there and pretend that they're your friend. We're part of the community. You know, hey Brian, hey Journey, hey Gary, hey small time, whatever you are. Yeah, hey, we're all together with this. And then they go and they take a comic like this, and then they tell you all the amazing things that are attributed, and how you should go and buy it. Meanwhile, they have about 1,000 copies of this. That as soon as, because they're using their popularity, they as soon as they can see a traction on there, and they already have like 3, 4 copies already on eBay, and people as soon as they go on there, they buy them. Oh, this first person bought it for $5, then the next person bought it for $10, then the next person bought it for $20, and all of a sudden, guess what? Supply and demand hits in big time, and they're sitting and like vultures, and they're manipulating the market in a way where they're really screwing people in a very horrible way. Because what happens then? What happens in every money, every single um, uh, market that is artificially inflated? What happens?
It's gonna crash.
It's gonna crash. And what happens with all the poor saps that bought this five, ten
Yeah,
dollar copy for about 100, 150, $200? You know,
they're gonna be out some money. Yeah,
and I throw it on all those freaks of nature that were pushing. Oh, it's all about Agatha, and pushing it all on the She-Hulk books, and pushing it on all this crap that normally nobody really wants, because it's crap. It's crap. But all of a sudden, we're gonna sit there and promote the freaking Wonder Pets and tell everybody it's the greatest thing on earth, and you should get the first appearance of it, because you're gonna miss out, and it's FOMO. And there's very specific people that do that in a very targeted and very, very malicious way. You know, so I do not like that at all. And by the way, anybody listening, I'm not talking about Comic Tom. You know, because I know that a lot of people are going to think that. I'm not talking about, because I'll tell you something. I have no problem whatsoever for people that actually are honest, and they tell you, I'm in this business. My business is to sell comic books. I'm making my own comic books. I'm making my own variants, whatever the case is. They're promoting, they're giving you speculation, but at the same time, they're being straightforward, and they're being honest with you that this is their business. I'm talking about the douchebags. I'm talking about the people that try to pretend like, hey, I'm one of the people and I'm angry. Oh, I can't get a copy of Strongman because it's all going for $400. Meanwhile, the thing, nobody wants it because it's going for $4 if you're lucky. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, yeah. No,
so
I've seen it myself.
if you really want to, you want to do part A and part B of what really irks me in the community. Part A is the crappy video production and look at me's that are out there. And I'm gonna make a video that kind of tells everybody and gives everybody a guideline how to do a proper look at me. And I'm not gonna say I do them great. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. Trust me, you're better off. So part A of it is that, and part B of it are all the freaking douchebags out there that really manipulate the market. And they're really, you got a lot of poor saps out there that don't know anything. They're morons. They're sitting there and talking to morons out there that have a little cash in their pockets, and they just lost their freaking mortgage, thinking they're gonna make $1 million
Oh
on
yeah,
a freaking
yeah.
strongman. Come on. There's people out there that, all joking aside, I don't want to be, um, I don't want to make light of this, but there's some people that are mentally challenged for real.
Oh yeah.
I'm serious about this. They're
Right,
really
right.
mentally challenged people out there. They have enough of capacity to understand things and watch things, and they also have the capacity to believe things. And they don't have their own budgets. And because they they're a little mentally challenged, maybe they're like 40, 50-year old, and they're mentally challenged, and they live with their parents still, and they're telling their parents, "You have to buy me one of this. We have to buy me one of this," because they think that this is the greatest thing, because this douchebag online just said that they have to buy it. And the same mindset goes to the little children too. Everybody else in between, you're morons and idiots for actually believing these people. But you get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. No,
Stuff like that really irritates me. It just gets under my skin.
yeah,
Maybe I'm in the minority.
they're
I don't
trying to
know.
take advantage. No, I mean, you have to do your own research, but like to your point, if you're incapable of doing that, or if you just take somebody else's word, you can get yourself into, you know, some trouble or lose some money.
All right, so I kept it minimal. I could have given you a dozen more things that irk me, but those are the major ones I think that irk me. So what else?
Okay.
Shoot, do we have more questions?
Yeah, and these the next two. We get two more for you, and they're gonna be a little bit lighter.
All right, make it
Um,
snappy. You made me wait a half an hour already before the show started, so let's keep the ball
all right,
rolling.
we'll keep your answers concise, and we'll keep it moving.
Well, do you want me to answer
No,
thoroughly, or
I
do you
want you.
want me
No,
to answer?
I want your full, honest answer.
Do you want the full Johnny Carson experience, or do you want the guy that comes in and makes the ratings drop? By the way, you're welcome. You're welcome because you just got a big viewership boost just by having me on here. All you got to do is put Comic Journey interview on there, and people will tune in
I
just to
know,
see
I
what I
know.
have to
That's why
say.
I reached out to you. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm thinking I want to go away for 4 or 5 months and then come back and be welcomed like you were. I think it's a it's a valid thing to consider because the overwhelming welcome that you received is just it's been amazing.
Well, it definitely has been. But I will tell you this much: if you don't take my advice on these CBC awards and actually implement some of the stuff I'm telling you, you're not going to be welcome. I will tell you that much. But let's go to the next question.
So I know you talked about last year about going to some cons, maybe New York City Comic Con. A lot of cons are back now in swing. We have a bunch in the local area in the next couple months. What do you have con plans? Are you looking to go to cons? What's your, now that you're back, what's your,
Yeah,
what's
I
the
am
plan?
actually planning on going to the cons. Not sure which is the closest con to New York that's coming in soon.
Well,
I got to start
terrific.
watching.
There's
Terrific
terrific
con.
con up in Connecticut in end of July.
Is it the Mohican Sun thing?
Yes, the Mohegan Sun one.
If I'm in the country, I will go because I might be taking a week or two off to go away. But
Okay.
if I am, I'll definitely make that one. But there's got to be some other ones coming out soon too, right? There was one
There's
at the Cradle of Aviation. It was like a pop culture kind of
Yeah,
con.
there. Well, there's one. I think it's Eternal Con. That's early July. That's at
Where is that?
Hofstra in Nassau
Hofstra.
County.
Well, maybe I'll do the Hofstra thing. Why not?
And then obviously we got New York City Comic Con in October.
But that I'm going to definitely do. The only
Okay.
reason I couldn't do that before is because of the COVID restrictions that they had. I want to take my son there, but I'm not going to have anybody force me to actually put a experimental vaccine vaccine. We're gonna experimental vaccine in a prepubescent kid, not knowing what the results are going to be. That's perfectly healthy, you
Right.
know. So
No, I
that
understand that. I understand
so
that.
that kind of pissed me off. Well, I was set to go, whatever the case is, because originally we were able to go and I got tickets, and then they said no, you can't go.
Right.
And I'm not gonna go
Yeah.
there by myself without my kid when I promised them that. Maybe I'll hit some of the convention by myself solo. Yeah, if you want to go together, we could go as long as you have those hot chicks from the beginning of your intros.
Well,
Uh,
I gotta check with Jimmy G because Jimmy G is in a internet relationship with one of the women in a dancing video. So
oh jeez, oh jeez. He's got some lovely hair on him. See you what you got me compare. You see what you got me competing against? See that lovely Ric Flair type of hairdo he has.
you got the mullet to deal with. You've got Cole's mustache. There's a
Well,
lot of competition.
you got freaking Ty Locks that has a mullet and a freaking Hulk Hogan mustache. Well, how am I gonna compete with that? I mean, come on. It's don't get me started. Don't get me. I told you this is the more gentler.
Okay,
This is the more
we'll
calm
we'll bring
comic
it
journey.
down. We'll calm down.
So
So
I do
keep.
have intentions of going to any Comic Cons if anybody um in the community or something like that
Well, yeah,
actually.
I'm going to. I'll be at New York Comic Con. I have. I'll be there. I know a couple of the other Long Island guys will be there as well. So
And the people that go to Comic Con that run across me, uh, I might jump in front of them, and they might not know who the hell I am. And then I
They'll
might just,
recognize the voice. They'll know
and
the
then I might
voice.
just do this in their face, and then maybe, yeah, you know what? That's gonna be my signal. Every time I see somebody I recognize from the community, I'm gonna do this, and then they're either gonna recognize me or punch me or get horrified and run away from me. One or the other. But or spray me with some kind of sanitary kind of spray. But either way, you know, I don't know. I got no problem getting together with a few people as long as no pictures, please. As long as there's no pictures,
We'll
please,
keep
and
your
no
identity
video,
safe.
I'm good. If you want to take some pictures of my headshot up, oh yeah, I'm there. I'm with it. So yes, I am planning on
Okay.
going there.
All right. Good. Good. Now, my last question is, and I know, I've seen some of your artwork, some of your drawings, your sketches. Very good. Um,
It's actually not, but I
it,
appreciate that.
it is.
It's
No, it
very
is.
amateur.
Well, but better than what I could do. So I appreciate the time and effort that you put into it. I think it looks good. But so if you could draw for a comic book, any comic book, would you rather be a cover artist or would you rather draw interiors?
Um, in a perfect world where I have time and that's my profession, I actually get compensated to make a living off of it, or it's something that I truly enjoy and
No, yeah,
do
it
on
was
the part time,
something you would, you're living, you'd earn a living.
because that makes a big difference. I'm saying if you
Oh,
don't
sure.
have the capacity, you can't do full books.
Right.
Um, I think that's a good question. That's actually a really good question.
I
Nobody's
stumped you.
ever. No, you didn't stub me because I have my thoughts. Nobody stumps me. But um, I think I'd like to do both. To be quite honest with
Okay.
you, and depending on the character and depending on the type of situation, um, I don't like inking at all.
Okay.
I'm terrible at it. Even worse at coloring. Really worse at coloring. I could ink to some extent, but when it comes to putting in actual colors and stuff like that, I'm horrible, horrible. And if you ever see any completed work by me, you're gonna say, "What the hell is this?" Because it's it's just it's never been my thing. I was never trained in properly coloring, and I'm sure if I put the time in and with repetition and et cetera, I'll get the colors in right and that kind of thing. Um, but I'm more of, I guess, a cover artist by nature, just because of my limited skills. But I think I would enjoy doing the inside of the books as well,
Okay.
as long as people can get past the amateur type of work. I mean, because that's actually what I'm doing right now. I don't know if you know that. Um, I, I'm actually putting together a comic that I'll be self publishing
Oh, okay.
at some point. I mean, my plans have been somewhat derailed. Got to push back a little bit, but it's actually something that my kids pushed me into. They found a bunch of my old sketches and notes and little doodly things that I used to do in these sketchbooks, and kind of pushed me and say, "Why didn't you ever do this? Or why didn't you ever do that?" I'm like, you know what?
Wow. Okay.
It's a good idea. I'm going to do that. So my plan is to complete a full edition. I mean, I got storylines for at least 10, 20 issues that I'm going to be going forward, but I wanted to complete a full edition where it's published, self-published, inked, drawn, written, etc., all by me.
Okay.
So I'm going to be the one man gang on the creative. And if people can get past the amateurish type, and I'm not saying this just to be modest, and it's the truth. I'm not a professional writer, and I'm not a professional artist, and I'm not a professional penciler, inker, or any of that. But I have a very vivid imagination, and I got things that I think that there's a lot of people out there. If they see it on paper in front of them in a visualization, I think they're going to say, yeah, that's kind of weird. That's kind of cool. It's kind of different. And it's kind of something I want to keep reading. So if there's enough of a public attention to that, enough people that actually appreciate that, my plan is once I self-publish it enough, and I get enough feedback of people actually wanting to see more, then I'll be hiring out the proper talent,
Okay.
or teaming up with the proper talent if they choose to team up with me and actually do the right type of pencils, the sketching, inking, coloring, and writing that my thoughts will appear. And I'll continue on just putting together storylines for the creative team and say, okay, take it from here.
I like it. Kind of test the market, see what the appetite is for it, and then if it's something that people want, then you could
Yeah.
bring some others in to help you with it.
And I want to do completely on my back. I don't want to ask like the community to support it and that kind of thing. I don't want to do a GoFundMe. I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna pay to have it printed out and published, depending on what it costs me. I'm sure I'm gonna give a lot of them out and that kind of thing. Depending on what it costs me to actually print it out, I'm gonna put something as cheap as possible as far as a cover price is, and just to try to recoup something out of it. Like me, I'm gonna take the image method, the Spawn method, Tom McFarlane method, where he's as cheap. Yeah, if he could do a comic for $2.99, why the hell Marvel can't do a comic
Oh,
for
I know.
two
And
ninety
the
nine?
quality
Yeah,
is great. Yeah.
I don't understand that, and I actually looked into it as far as self publishing and even small print runs. I could get it to that price point. Yeah, I'm not going to make any money because
Right.
I'm not doing, but I don't care. I just want to like be, if I'm going to do something out and people enjoy it and they want to buy a copy of it, let them have it for whatever it costs me. Because if they read it and they enjoy it, then they'll pass it along to somebody else. And then if there's going to be some kind of future to that comic of me creating, then maybe I can make something from it as far as a financial investment and career out of it down the line, if that ever happens. But
Right.
again,
Right.
the key thing is I'm going to complete something that I had started a very long time ago, years ago when I was a kid, never completed. I'm gonna bring it to fruition, and whether it's fantastic, whether it sucks, whether it's you get one of those reactions like you don't know what the hell this is, regardless of reaction, I did it, I accomplished it, and that's
Right.
it.
Right.
So that's the plan.
And your kid, and it's not like you said, your kids are excited about it, so that's another reason to continue it, right?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of
Okay.
that's actually a little bit of my self motivations when it comes to like being me more and more involved, especially with the artists out there and that part of the community, and asking all the annoying questions, because I know there's artists out there that I ask a lot of questions to, as far as what do you think of this with style, or what kind of inks do you use, what kind of pencils are you? I ask all these questions all the time. And it's not because I'm trying to. Sometimes they think I'm just doing it purposely to be annoying. I'm trying actually to learn as much as I can from actual
Right.
people
Right. Looking
that
for
we
that
have in the
feedback
community
from
that
it.
are really, really talented. You know, so that's it.
Okay. That's
That's your
interesting.
answer.
I like it.
I gave you a little bit more than you expected, huh?
I was good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
So was I an amazing guest? Was that it? Did you have any more
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, that's it. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. That's all the questions I have for you today. So, yeah, you did a great job. This
Yeah.
is
Well, I know that I'm amazing. You're welcome. Um, and you know what? Yeah, are we going to have this become the highest rated comic book community for one
I mean,
ever?
that's my hope, right?
Ever? Because I
It
believe
could
it will
be.
be. I believe it will be. You might get more dislikes than likes. I can't promise
That's
that
okay.
that's the case, but we're looking for reactions. So
Right.
we're not looking
That's it.
necessarily just for likes. You do one of these. You could do one of these. You could do one
No
whatever
such
you want.
thing as bad press.
Just use your fingers. Use your fingers in the best possible way. You want to put some commentary down on there. Um, go ahead and do that. I appreciate you for having me on. I definitely
Yeah,
appreciate you having me on,
I
and
appreciate you coming
I'm
on.
expecting really really high results from this being the highest rated comic book community for 111. Because if it's not, I guarantee you're gonna hear about it. You're gonna hear
Well,
about it.
I'm going to guarantee it because what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace our faces and my face and your hands with the dancing girls throughout the entire interview.
Well, if that's the case, then now we're talking. Now, why? You know what? You wanted me to open up a little bit. You wanted me to not be in such a shell and be a little bit more verbal. I know I'm kind of a boring guest. I don't really talk too much. But if you really wanted me to open up and really, really come out there, you would have had to. You know what LCES? You know, you do one of those. Yeah, yeah. Down with LCES. You know, you do one of those and down to LCES and with boom, 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 you know, all the curves and everything. Then now you're gonna get me to open up, and you know, but yeah, hey, that's I don't know. Yeah, I gave you enough sound bites for you to use for many, many years to come. So I think you're gonna get a billion people to watch this channel, and you're gonna get monetized and make $1 trillion. You
I
know
hope
that.
so. That's the
No, I, I
plan.
think
I mean,
I
that's,
think that's the case.
yeah.
Is your plan on actually getting monetized with your channel?
I mean, I think if I get to that point, I would really just kind of use it for the awards but I don't know. I haven't really thought that far in advance about it. So
It seems like everybody's goal is to get that 1,000 and to become monetized with the channel. And I'm gonna share some wisdom for everybody. I'm gonna share some wisdom for everybody. It's not that cracked up.
yeah.
It's not. You're not
Well,
making. You're really not making that much money.
that's what I was going to say. I don't think it's once you hit that 1,000, right? You really need to be 5, 10, 15, 20,000 really before you can make you know
I want to say where you're making money, where you can actually somewhat survive. I'm not talking about live off completely without having some other
right,
kind of
right.
supplemental income, but actually improve your life and make things easier for you. You'd have to probably get to that. I want to say to the 20,000 range. You know,
Okay, that sounds
because
about right. Yeah.
yeah, you want to get to at least that point, and it also matters what kind of content you have. Because here's the thing: advertisers they don't bid like crazy on comic community stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, um, I have a real estate channel, which is lumped into that financial category,
Right.
and I could have a fraction of the views that somebody that has a comic community channel does, and make just as much, if not worse, if not
Right.
more,
Right. Because you're getting a higher
because
rate.
you're getting a higher rate,
Right.
and
Right.
even that sucks. I'm telling you, I got like 4,000 subscribers on the job. I'm lucky to even cover expenses on paper. You know,
Right.
it's,
Right.
it's 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 nothing to write home about, and they tax you on it too. So that's
Yeah.
always
And
lovely.
right. And YouTube takes a cut, and
Yep.
yeah. So
It's always lovely.
yeah.
So for all you kiddies at home, and you want to become YouTube famous and a YouTube star, it kind of sucks. So just do stuff you like. You want to make videos, make them like, and if you blow up and become super, super YouTube famous, then you hire a team to give you better production, and then you're done.
There
That's
you
it.
go. You heard it here first. So what
Yes, you
else?
do.
What do you have coming up on your channel? You got some live streams. What do you got going on?
Well, I got a lot of stuff coming up. One, like I spoke about before, I spoke about my nominations that I'm going to be making. Um, I think that should piss off a lot of people. And I'm not going to take the cowardly right. Hey, bookworm, if you're watching, bookworm, if you're
No
watching,
duck races.
and I'm not going to take the cowardly way out. And like, I really like these three channels, and I'm going to have a duck race between them to see who wins. So I could not be hated by anybody. No, you pick one and you own it and you run with it, and that's it. If you're going to do this publicly, if you're going to, I'm not saying that everybody should do it publicly, and not everybody's built for that. People don't, they don't like to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
if that's your thing, that's your thing. And I'm not doing it to hurt people's feelings. I'm doing it to one, show how the process works to everybody so they could understand how easy it is. Two, to actually take a very thoughtful and mindful approach, the same way I am, as far as picking the correct people and not making it a popularity contest. Because if I was just picking the people I like, honestly, some of the people I like kind of have crappy channels, you know. But I really like them as human beings.
Right.
Like
Good people. Right.
I enjoy them. I enjoy like the banter when we're on chats together and all that stuff. But they really kind of have crappy channels. So you know, I'm not going to vote for them. Sorry, but if it was like you're my friend kind of thing, yeah, I would choose them. But I'm gonna pick everybody with a very very neutral and very mindful approach. And I'm gonna make sure that everybody I choose are justified, and people can understand that. And
Okay.
hopefully, people take very like-minded situations. Otherwise, I could just go, oh, best channel of the year, Comic Journey, best content of the year, Comic Journey, best collaboration, Comic Journey. I could just go down the list and just vote
Right.
myself in.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, because you mentioned it earlier. You're saying, you're doing your homework, you're doing some research, and because you've been away for a little bit. So, but I appreciate that you're taking the time to be mindful, thoughtful when submitting your nominations.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, we have such a great community, a huge community, and everybody deserves, honestly, everybody deserves to be looked at with a very respectful way and not just dismissed. You're going to see channels that are going to get nominations for that I personally don't have that much like for the content creator. I might have a little actually disdain for that person that's actually putting it, but that's not going to take away the fact that I believe they have a great quality video production and channel, and
Okay.
there's a reason for that.
Right. Yeah,
That
you're recognizing their work. Their
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
what it's all about to be. There you go. Here's another category for you: the "I like you better than everybody else" award. So you could put one of those on there. And by the way, why do we need a People's Choice Award? Why do we really need that? You did
Well,
that. You did that for all the people that were bitching and moaning last year. Yeah.
yeah,
Do we really need it? Aren't they all People Choice Awards?
they are, but I think that one is there's no requirement, right? You don't have to have a series, you don't have to have pressing or cleaning. There's it's kind of just an open category.
The Look at Me Unpopular Award. That's the Prom
Yeah,
Queen
that
Award.
could be. That could
Yeah,
be.
I think you should change it to the Prom Queen Award or Prom
Maybe it
King.
becomes the Look at Me award.
You know what? It does need one. Your awards are kind of lacking. You know, a nice little comic journey statue with a little blue head on it. I think would really work well.
I mean, there could be action figures. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things we could do.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not ready to license my brand yet, but I need to build it up for so Marvel could buy, and I'll make trillions, trillions. Just like everybody else that got bought out by Marvel. But you know what I'm saying. So yeah. So I'm gonna be doing some work like that. I'm gonna be doing a lot of catch up videos. I got a ton of footage that I filmed that I never did anything with. So I got to figure out how to be able to put that together and actually start putting it out there. Some of the stuff is so damn outdated. And some of them are colossal fails and misses that I did as far as purchases. Where I'm looking
Okay.
at them right now on purchases that I made 5-6 months ago, and I'm looking at. I'm like, what the hell did I do? Why did I pay so much money for this crap at that time? Like Eternals #1 and bullshit like that. Like,
Well, maybe that's you can put that video together as kind of like a don't do these things or look at how things change, right? You buy a book and now in 5 months later it's not worth half of what it was worth.
yeah, so I'm gonna have to take into consideration some of that type of a content.
Okay.
I'm gonna continue my community spotlight series that I started as well,
Okay.
and I'm adding something a little different, a little bit different. I'm going to start pressing and restoring and trying to conserve books in a
Wow.
really really getaway, uh, as cost efficient as possible, it will probably make fantastic content because I think really suck at pressing, and you're going to see a lot of failures happen. But I don't think there's ever been anybody that started chronicling their pressing and conservation methods from day one on
Right, right.
video. They've talked about it, but I don't think anybody like took a comic and said, "Okay, this is my first comic, and I'm going to start pressing. I'm going to learn how to press, and I'm going to do this." And this mangled piece of crap is what I'm going to start with. And I can guarantee you, I'm going to mess up some books. So, this is, I'm basically going to do opposite of things like Jerry does and stuff like that, because I just don't have that skill set, and I don't have the temperament and the mindset that he has to be that diligent. And he's
Oh yeah.
tedious. He's
Oh
tedious.
yeah. The work that he does is tedious. I don't think I'd have the patience to do some of the things that he does.
So, if you enjoy watching proper stuff done, like Jerry does, and you want to see the bizarro world stuff, then you probably want to start catching those kind of videos. Um, because I bought a hand iron. I'm gonna do it this way.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I bought parchment paper. Um, I bought a steamer, and let's see what the
All
hell
right.
comes out of this. I took little bits and pieces from all these people, and let's see what I can come up with. You
All
know,
right. Trial and error. Yeah. All
trial and
right.
error. But you're going to see it from book one. You're going to see it from book one, and it's going to be the name of my channel is Comic Journey. This is going to be part of my journey with my comics to
Okay.
try to figure this the big mess out. But
Well,
we'll see.
that sounds good. That sounds interesting. I'd watch that.
I'm sure you're going to watch it. You're going to say, "What an idiot this guy is." But hey, as long as you know what the goal is, I'm going to do the stupid things that go into my head of what I think are correct to do, and the good stuff. Hopefully, people like say, "Oh, that works. That you could do it." And the stuff that I completely screw up on, they'll say, "Yeah, I'm glad he did it, not me."
All right.
So
Well,
it's
and
almost
I'm sure you'll get a lot of feedback on that too, right? Because a lot of people that are doing pressing and cleaning, and so I'm sure you'll generate a lot of comments.
yeah, it's almost like a public service kind of thing. And then that's the thing. I don't have, a lot of people have their thing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having your thing with your channel, where you're the review guy, you're the I don't know, the
Mystery
investment
box guy,
guy, the
right?
speculation guy, the Funko guy, the let's chat guy. Everybody has their thing. Me, I'm kind of like all over the place as far as I'm like an octopus. I have tentacles, and they just they grab this, they grab that, grab that. I'm the smorgasbord of the comic community. If you don't know what you're gonna get on there, and hopefully I just put on stuff in the future that sometimes maybe makes people smile a little bit. Maybe it gives people a different perspective. Maybe it gets them to think sometimes. But more than anything else, it just entertains them in one way or the other.
Right. Right.
Because it
Okay.
entertains the hell out of me. Seeing people's reactions and stuff like that entertain the hell out of me. This is better than watching TV for me. Just seeing people reaction. Sometimes I'll just say something just out of the left field, just to see how people react, and the reactions I get, just this is my enjoyment. That's it. We're done.
Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Are we done?
You've said a lot tonight, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed having you on and learning a little bit more about you. So
Are you gonna
appreciate
speed
you
up the
coming on.
video? Speed up the video and cut me and chop me up and
Uh,
do that kind of thing?
no,
Huh?
no, we're gonna leave it. It's going to be. I mean, an hour and 20 minutes. That's like halftime for you for your live streams.
Some of them, yeah. Sometimes some of this is the first quarter. But Yeah, so no,
So,
no chopping, nothing like that. Look at this. Look at this nice little. I have to give you a really nice compliment on your background. Look, we got our little pictures of ourselves doing our thing. Mine says Comic Journey on the bottom. Yours says Brian LCS. Really creative name, by the way, the LCS. But anyway, we'll get into that another. I know I gave you shit about it in the past.
wasn't a lot of thought that went into it.
I know I gave you crap about it in the past, but really nice setup, and you got all these characters in the back. Really lovely setup you have, and you got the Hulk right in between us, which is my favorite character, as you all know. I like it. I like it. I have to find myself to get this advanced
Yeah,
Southern Dominator
you
literature.
you went away, and I got a little
You got
more,
freaking fancy on us
professional
over
over
here.
here.
You got
Yeah.
fancy. You got dancers. You got all kinds of crap going on, man. Good for you. Good for you. You're welcome. You're welcome for having me on your show.
Well, thanks for coming on. We'll wrap it up,
You ever
and
need to pump up your ratings again?
yeah, I mean this is it's
See.
ratings boost.
I'm like a drug dealer. The first time is for free, but next time, I need some payday. If you're gonna, yeah,
All right, I'll get the checkbook out
my
next
time
time.
is valuable. I got, this is all about, the cheddar, baby, the cheddar. We got to make some of that
Well, let's
cheddar.
not talk about cheese again.
Yeah, oh yeah. You saw that reference. Yeah, saw that reference. That's another thing with all my things. I always throw Easter eggs, but I
All right.
appreciate you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
I
everybody.
appreciate you. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching Comic. If you don't know Comic Journey, his link will be down below. Please go check out his channel. He's got a lot of things coming up soon. So I appreciate him coming on, being a great guest, and answering all my crazy questions. So thanks everyone. Have a great night, day, whenever you're watching this. Take care.
Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Out. I wonder if I can